a big moment here. This is a big moment for me. This is Halloween. This is everything,
I know.
Woo, this is my first time come on the Tonight Show here.
I'm thrilled to death to have you.
Oh,
Just
man.
delighted.
When I started in the rock and roll, I went from who's who into who's that, And then I come out now tonight, I figure I'm going to go from who's that into, oh, no, not him again.
Now, this is great. Now, this is your costume or just you?
No, no, we'll go home and we'll change into the costume after the show. This is the base. This is what we call the Maui Wowie Powie motif here.
And the women go crazy for you?
Well,
Crazy for you.
Back by popular demand. Yeah.
And why do they call you? Because I'm looking for the diamonds. Because they call you Diamond Dave.
Well, it's a question of maybe we go back in the past to a previous Halloween. And I remember maybe when I was 10 years old, I come up, and, all the other kids would go and they ask for a treat. They go trick or treat, knock on the door, like that. And I guess I was the only one, when you opened the door, I was trying to give you something, I was trying to sell you something. And I'd have the black mask on with the rubber gloves, and it would say, cookies, $4, untouched by human hands.
And you're from out here, right?
Well, originally from Bloomington, Indiana.
So, they told me you were a Pasadena boy.
Well, halfway there.
Yeah. So how'd you get here? What made you come east instead of west?
It was the family traveling. We, grew up partway in Bloomington and then lived on the East Coast in Massachusetts, Brookline, Swampscott, Boston.
Yes, I love that area.
Oh, yeah. And I remember, a certain age when I was about 7, 8 years old, and Greenwich Village was really popping then. That was the folk movement. And, all my daddy and all my uncles were all, surgeons and like that, except for Uncle Manny. And Uncle Manny had a club in the village, called the Cafe Wad. Yeah.
He's your uncle? Manny Roth. I work at the bitter end.
Well, there you go.
There you go. I was there. Your Uncle Manny owes me money.
Well, there you go.
Your Uncle Manny, that SOB, owes me $125.
I come from a long line, man.
Okay, so go on. Right. So you were down.
And I remember staying in Manny's loft, up above Bleecker and McDougal Street.
Sure.
It was one room with a toilet closet, and there was always an unemployed musician sleeping on the sofa, unemployed actor, and of course, the greatest thing I ever saw, And that's when I made my big left turn in life.
And right into music.
Well, something like that.
Yeah. Were you there? Because he had Lenny Bruce in the club. Did you ever see Lenny Bruce?
I don't remember Lenny Bruce. I remember going into the bathroom when I was maybe 7 years old. Rich Little was practicing in the mirror, And the waitresses had skirts shorter than anything I'd ever seen before. Virgin Island steel drummers were real popular at that time, And so was wearing sunglasses at night.
Oh, that was very cool.
Oh, man, I remember driving in from the airport. I sit in the back of the taxi, and it was 11:30. I remember I says, oh, wow, I'm still awake. And so evidently is everybody else.
Except my family.
Yeah, and here we are.
Was your family crazed when they were all doctors and professional people and you said?
Family was supportive, I just wanted to be on stage somehow. I just wanted to, make some noise, do monkey hour. They said I was hyperactive when I was a kid, and I'd get blood sugar up after dinner time, and start ticky-tacking on the table, and parents would say, don't worry about Dave, he's just doing what we call monkey hour. Like that. So I turned monkey hour into a career.
Joke's on you, Mama. We'll be right back after this special commission. Okay. Talking with David Lee Roth. Now, you just did something, which made all the papers. You auditioned women, and here's the circular you put out for your movie, Crazy from the Heat. It was an open call. You said you want women. You're a woman, and you think you have an unusual character face or a beautiful body, or if you have an unusually beautiful face or a character body, or any combination of thereof, you're perfect. Now, what happened? Was it just madness? How many showed up?
Oh, man, we're off to our flying start. We're making movies, So he said, well, when it's time to look for the talent, when we're going to find the actors and the actresses, let's go right to the street, because that's where I found my music.
Okay.
And then, we'll go right from there and see what we can find, it's funny because nobody's ever entrusted a zillion-dollar project like this to, a couple of schnooks like us. Pete Angeles and myself were the fabulous Picasso brothers, That's Picasso because it's high art, and brothers because that's like pizza delivery.
Right.
And that's where our art winds up, kind of halfway in between. And we're just, now we finished the script. We're going to start shooting in January. Woo, we're off to a flying start, and the company signs us up with CBS Films. Yeah, they're very proud, and the MTV Awards come up. And man, and we're up for 16 different awards, and all right, here comes the movie, and we lose every single one of them.
Oh, no. You didn't get one?
And but the reason I bring this up is because something very funny happened just the other day.
Were you hysterical, though?
Well, I tell you, I was until Michael Jackson called me up on the telephone, Michael Jackson.
Right.
And he comes up, and he says to me, I'll paraphrase, he says, David, I'd just like to say that I was furious when you didn't win an award. And I thought to myself immediately, well, what does Michael Jackson look like when he's furious? And my second impulse was to say, well, I was furious too. So it's a logical step. Boom, we go to the big screen, and we're casting for it. We're going to start shooting real soon.
Now, you're so up and you're so alive and you're so vibrant. What do you do on your days off? Do you come down, or you're this much fun with your friends?
We idle. We eat a lot of fiber, man.
What's the best thing about being a rock and roll star?
Oh, the fringe benefits.
Yeah.
That's the best thing. It's just stuff like this casting call. Oh, man, the people that you see and the places that you go, and you play Lima, Peru, and Lima, Ohio. And you play Paris, France. You play Paris, Texas, and everywhere in between. Yeah. Paris, Texas.
What about girls? You have one girl. It must be impossible to have one girl.
Well, when you're kind of motivating quick, there's a certain careening quality to the career at this point, and keeping up with that is difficult. I was in love up until about maybe 10 months ago, like that, and we fell out of it. And I just said to myself, I guess when you fall out of a major love affair, that's God's way of telling you to buckle down and make a lot of money.
Yeah, and have a good time. If you can meet anybody now, who would you meet?
I don't know who I would meet.
Who would you like to meet? Who do you think is the sexiest woman working today? What are the sexiest?
Princess Stephanie is in the running up there. We see a lot of her in the bathing suit business now.
But big shoulders. I mean, big shoulders. Who else? Brooke Shields? She's my friend. I can fix you up.
I met Brooke Shields. I met Brooke Shields at a party in New York, and there wasn't a whole lot to say. I did hear a story, though.
Well, she's very shy. She's a nice girl, which you're probably not used to.
No, it's like cat.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
It was the cat from Wham in between us, man.
Yeah. So what do you do? What do you do what do you do for relaxation? A quiet moment with David Lee Roth?
Well, the quiet moments don't usually happen around home base. You're going to want to travel, and it'll be a while before I travel. But usually I take on some kind of an adventure somewhere. You get a period, maybe 3-6 weeks every 2 years, and you can jet off somewhere. And I started a club maybe 6 years ago now and call ourselves the Jungle Studs.
Yeah, now what is that? They told me, what's a Jungle Studs?
Well, once a year we head off into the bush somewhere and
and look for animals?
Wait a minute, is this a trick question? What is this?
What do the Jungle Studs do?
Well, last time we went into New Guinea, and we were the first ones to cross way up over the Star Mountains through the Hindenburg Gorge.
That's
and
great.
It took 38 days on foot. In fact, my girlfriend was with me on that. I'm beginning to discern a pattern there.
Because someone told me the first thing you look at people, which I liked very much when I heard that, you look at their hair and their shoes.
No, I think what I said once was rock and roll is nothing but shoes and haircuts.
Oh, okay. 'Cause I thought,
You get the same kind of beats, you know, and it's the same. You count to 4 and you start over. You ever notice that, Doc? You know? I hate to oversimplify, you know, but it's like, and every song starts at the end of 4, right? Yeah. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, ba-da-da-da, you know. Like,
where do you want to be in 10 years from now? You're so successful now. So many things are opening up for you. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I can only pitch for the next 10 months. There's no real security in this business. That's part of the reason I got this job, you know. It's part pirate, you know, and you sail under no flag, at least for the next 10 months, you know. And then maybe back to aluminum siding.
Oh, well, if you're selling, I'm buying, okay? How nice you came on. What a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Great success with the movie. I know you have to go, so we'll let you go.